All right, so keeping with TV and streaming for a bit, let's talk about, well, you'll talk about Warrior Nun season 1.
Right.
I haven't seen a trailer for this. I skipped it because I wanted to go in completely blind, but I chose Twilight Zone over this show here. So, Ricardo, you let me know if you picked the better of the two, I guess, with Warrior Nun. So take it away.
I highly doubt it because, boy, speaking on narrative problems. Let's start.
Yeah.
Okay, so Warrior Nun is based off of a manga, I think, or a graphic novel called Warrior Nun, Aurelia or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Never read it, don't know what it's about. But it, so I decided to take the scene, and basically it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a slightly different version of, if you know Angela, Angela comes from, is a side character from a little comic in the 90s known as Spawn. And basically,
remind me who Angela was again. Like, I haven't read a Spawn comic in a hot minute. Like, remember back in the days when Spawn was the shit, that like everybody was just like, oh my god, these covers are so fucking awesome, and when you read it's like, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. No, it was pure. I mean, clearly Todd McFarlane just wanted to sell goddamn toys and just straight up marketing, and he was Mr. 90s edger, so
Yeah, for real.
Angela was a side character if I remember correctly, she was a side character in Spawn, but then I think Marvel bought her out, and it had a whole back and forth because, again, Todd McFarlane, being of the 90s, was incredibly litigious. So there's a lot of back and forth with who character own what and who can make money off of blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Anyway, this comic is bounded on the Catholic Church. It's Catholic Church mysticism, world building, mythology stuff that you think is Catholic supernatural stuff is really science fiction, or at least something akin to.
So is it kind of like what they did with the live action Constantine movie?
It's more comparable to like what Marvel Universe has done with Thor. So it's what you think is magic and myth is really technology, and
okay, I got you.
It's more like that. So the story is that it starts off where there's some like a kind of this girl who's like a warrior nun character. She's dead in the storyline, and they take something out of her back, known as a halo, and this halo thing is made of, well, effectively Catholic vibranium. They call it divinium, I think. And
divinium.
Right. Yeah. You know where we're going with this, right? And so basically, what happens is that the nun was running with it because like bad guys was after this thing to grab it from her, and then she stick it inside the dead body of the main character. The main character is dead, and the divinium stuff wake her back up, and she don't know how or why she get back up, and then that's where the mystery starts. And she travels from place to place, and then the entire story is like going through like her having to make sense of what's going on, the other warrior nuns and what they're about and their history, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. So before you jump into the review, right? You said you use the term warrior done twice when you just gave that little review synopsis there. Right. What exactly are their skill sets?
Yeah, there's general badassery. They could fight and they could this, and they're effectively like Joan of Arc types, right? Because in the I don't know if this, I can't remember if this was in the show itself. I really don't remember it, but in the manga, from what I understand, it was a Valkyrie type Viking woman who converts to Christianity, but she brings across all her like Valkyrie shit into Christianity somehow. And that's how they could do what they could do, and that is all of that is divinated from that. And again, it has a lot of Joan of Arc kind of vibe to everything. So it's nuns, right? They're nuns. It's kind of like those warrior nuns from Star Trek Picard. It's they can fight and they're women. And they can pass. That's it.
Right.
And then
like every time I just hear that word, I'm just thinking like sorry for this term here, nuns with guns.
right.
Like literal Catholic nuns dressed in their nun garb, just with packing heat, basically, right? That's what I'm thinking every time I hear warrior nun. you know.
No, they could fight. They could fight. I don't know if you remember. Oh gosh, which Batman movie had that, boy? One of the Batman movies had that. The Batman animated movies. I think the one with Bad Blood. I think it's Bad Blood. That I think it had something like that. Something similar. It's like a secret order, but we really have access to technology and powers and a different dimension and all that shit. That's an
Right,
extra
right.
work. That's what it is. It's no. Here's the thing. I can't really say it's the laziest thing ever because I haven't seen too much of this before. But you know, you've seen enough for it to kind of make sense of what's going on. So it's fine. Every episode is 10 episodes. Every episode is named after some psalm or some Bible verse, which I took no effort to look up the meaning of. So
I don't think anybody who, well, unless you plan on reviewing the show or you really love the show, will probably do the little research afterwards.
Here's the problem, because the show's so goddamn boring, I couldn't care less. Like I was like, just waiting for this to over. And it's all on Wikipedia, so suppose you can look it up there. But here's the
Right.
problem. It's that one real simple problem. It's too effing long. Like every
Oh,
episode,
okay. You know,
every
well, to cut you there, sorry. The vibe I was getting from it, and you know, maybe I'm right here, is well, sure, I talked about last year called Wu Assassins, which had this goofy mash that side fancy element, but it just stretched it out so long because you want to do character development and world building,
yeah.
but it's just so drawn out and boring. It just takes you out to the
Yeah.
story, right?
But the biggest problem by far is that because the none of the actors or chemistry particularly engaging. It's just set design and like it's clearly a set of pretty young people to get, but none of these people engaging or interested. The main character okay, she okay, Alba or something, I forget she name, but everybody else is just it flat. It pretty played flat. It's more like a lesser sci-fi TV series kind of thing, like one of those, like you
Oh,
have the sci-fi,
like the sci-fi channel, like.
right? On the sci-fi channel, right?
That's the bar we set for this one. Ooh.
That's about we said, yeah, because but I want to mind it. Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a lesser, way inferior version of Supernatural I'm watching here. That's basically what's going on. But I wouldn't mind any of that if it was shorter. When I was telling myself, boy, if these episodes was like 20 minutes each, it would have been fine. Right?
Right.
But it
But
can't
of
be
course, they're
50
clocking in 50 minutes, an hour long,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Right?
all of them clocking in an hour. All of them close to an hour, 50, 55 minutes. I was like, nah, man. Unacceptable.
Boy.
Because and it's just so grindy and slow and not going anywhere. And I was like, way back. I real shock I make through this. I real shock I make through this because like, wow. But all right, so basically it's just her going through the paces. Every episode just it okay in terms of some of the action, some of the special effects look fine. What else to say? Some of the characterization interesting because it's again, if you're into, like, some people like this bullshit, like they like, Da Vinci Code, Catholic bullshit. A lot of people like that. Where,
I'm not a fan of that. Sorry.
yeah, where it recontextualizes the Catholic Church in this way and is this piece of history. And
that reminds me though. I will never forget the first time I saw Da Vinci Code in theaters, and then like the person I went with, well, her and her husband were there, right? So she and her mom, sorry, and they made real explain to me about how Christ was married, all that kind of stuff, like real going into detail though, because they already booked that. I'm just there like
exactly.
I just like saw the show and I was like, all right, but you'll have to stop and explain this whole thing to me. Like I give a shit. You know what I mean?
No, that's the thing. It does this whole recontextualizing of religion. It's something that, look, it's something that I could totally see working back in the 90s, because back then that was edgy. Much like Spawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was an edgy thing to do. This thing that millions of people believe, and then we change it up because interesting. And my attitude was,
and look at hell and heaven and angels
right.
and they're fighting and look at that. You know what I mean that? Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Like, yeah, it's like, oh, this thing that you think is supernatural is really sci-fi. Like, just recently, they did the Doom video game. The new Doom video game that came out, Doom Eternal, does that. It frames both heaven and hell as evil, right, in the storyline. And it's like, all right, well, that's kind of cool and interesting, but again, we kind of move past that. At least guys like me, cynical dudes like me kind of move past that when we think about what religion's supposed to actually be and its purpose and whatnot. Nobody really give a shit about the goofy supernatural stuff. It's all about, people and how they treat each other and, you
No,
know,
yeah,
in
yeah,
between.
you're right. It's
Right.
like hearing the intro to some horror film, like heaven and hell, and there's a
Right.
war and all that
Yeah,
kind of
nobody
stuff.
should do that anymore. Them days done. But so for you to sell, but the thing is, it's still again. I'm all postmodern, and ironic, right? So guys like me don't really work on, but I can imagine it might work on some people, maybe. But here's again, it doesn't. That's not the biggest sin it commits. Biggest sin it commits is just being too goddamn slow. Because if it was faster and had better pacing, I'd enjoy it. I sure I'd enjoy it because it had decent enough action when the action beats were there. That's some
Right.
good fighting. Episode 4 was okay. Episode 4 was notable because it had David Hayter was the writer of the episode. If you know who that is, he's the I know him as the voice of Solid Snake from Metal Gear now. I'm like, oh shit, that's
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah,
All right.
stuff like that. And I was like, okay, little something, little people, again, the little chops in, all right, cool. But then the final episode happens, and to me, it was the boring, slowest bullshit ever. And then they had the goal to make it a cliffhanger. They could
I
big
love it.
story. Nah, man. Nah, man. Nah, man. I don't really have nothing else to say per se. I mean, other than if you wanted like outright spoilers of what's going on, I suppose. Um, Look, 4 out of 10. Like, if you care to watch it, watch it. But I thought it was boring, slow. Characters would have been okay if the actors were like real good and had good screen presence, but they didn't really. It's attractive people who do have screen presence, right? It's that. You don't
Right.
have people who are attractive but they have no screen presence. You can understand what that means, meaning that people who don't know how to put themselves and block themselves with a camera properly. Them
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of, and everybody's a bunch of new actors. I have nobody there who know what they're doing. So it's again sci-fi Saturday night TV series shit. Yeah, 4 out of 10.
Right. Well. Thanks for letting me know this. So, yeah, more than likely I will not be checking this shit out.
Yeah.
So you took the chance. Thank you
Yeah,
for that.
I thought it'd be something interesting. I wait through the muck, just to get to the end to see if that was something, and then they had the goal to do that nonsense. Like, no, I ain't serious.
Oh boy. All right. So last things last. Let's talk about Hamilton. So,
Yeah, man.
Ricardo, I just want you to just do the synopsis for it, right? But just as an
Right.
intro, just to begin, I wouldn't say that it's been one of my all-time dreams to see this play, to see this stage performance, basically, right? But it kind of is at the same time because
Yeah.
I'll never forget like when I went to the States, basically in New York at the time that I always wanted to kind of see one of these, these musicals, you know what I mean, see how it is, right? And this is coming from somebody who, yes, I admit I'm not really the biggest, fan of the theater, but I do appreciate it as well too, especially down here in Trinidad. I do see this as a great, platform for up and coming act, up and
Yeah.
coming actors, we need to show their craft and whatnot. And then, it's like, and, well, from us being from, having been educated, sorry, through the we film program, it's like, yeah, you got to go to theater arts and look for people who have the chops, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Right.
so even back then, I mean, I always heard about the big deal about Hamilton, right? And how big Hamilton is and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it was also one of those things that I wanted to see. And I'm not sure if I said it in this program here or somewhere else, but I always made the joke that, hopefully one day somebody will actually film, one of these performances
Right.
and put it out on a DVD and I'll see it for myself, right? Instead of me
Yeah,
having
it's
to
one of
pay
those,
X amount of cash to
yeah,
watch it,
yeah,
right?
every time you have a big play, there's somebody who'll do something like that. Cats is one of those. It's quite probably the more prototypical example. Even
Yeah.
something like Soleil when that was hot, is another
Yes.
example of that, right? You get to see at least one big performance, and you get to see what it is you're not seeing live, right? You will make
Exactly.
it,
Exactly.
and they
Yeah.
just make some good money off it. They put it on HBO or wherever it is.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. So
Before
just a
I
couple more things before I forget, right? Couple more things. Sorry about that. Two names that always stood out to me as far as Hamilton goes, were my boy David Diggs, you know what I mean, who was,
right,
he's
right,
part of, the great experimental hip hop group, Clipping, also starred in two of our favorite, both of our favorite of 2018, Blind
yeah,
Spotting. I mean, he's such a
yeah,
great actor and rapper and stuff
yeah,
like that, but I never pictured him or saw him on the stage doing his thing, right?
right,
And of course, the incomparable Lin-Manuel Miranda, right? You know what I mean?
right,
I've always heard of his name ever since Hamilton popped up, and then, hearing his work, hearing about his work on various Disney productions and stuff like that.
Right.
There was a film that was coming out this year. This New York-based musical. I forgot the name of it right now, but I know he's involved in it too. I believe.
Okay.
So I mean, I know his fame. Well, familiar with his fame and acclaim now, but I just never got around to seeing the damn, Hamilton, right? Which leads us
Right.
to 2020 and Disney Plus. So yes, on Independence Day weekend, you know what I mean, the kind folks at Disney Plus was like, it'd be real cool if we actually show people this thing, you know what I mean, and let people enjoy themselves, you know what I mean, and
Right.
have fun. But last thing I just want to say before we get to your your synopsis on it, what makes this show pretty interesting as far as Disney Plus goes is, and this is a minor detailer, is its rating, right? It's a PG-13 film, right? But this is actually the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that Disney had to step in and censor, well, in this case, to Fox, right? Because yes, they do curse twice, and there's a moment where there was a character does say it, and they actually bleep it out, right? So they had
Right.
to do it, you know, in poster basically before showing it on their platform. Because it's
Right.
Disney, right? We can't be showing no R-rated shit. Although, in my opinion, this could have still be a PG-13 rating with the Fox.
Yeah. Well,
But I understand it's Disney. I understand. You know what I mean? So the ultimate, if it was another studio, yeah, this still would have been a PG-13, right? But yeah, that's the little minor detail. Just want to get out of the way. But yeah, Hamilton, the
okay.
musical, the film is here. What is it about?
Right. Well, I do want to get a quick history of Lin-Manuel Miranda himself.
Uh huh.
His first kind of big claim to fame that I was aware of is back in oh, when this was by is I want to say May 2009 or sometime in 2009. It had to be like early in the year, I think, and it was him having the concert, the song that opens he opens the song with the music with the show. He sung for then newly elected President Barack Obama and
Oh,
Michelle
okay.
Obama
All
performance,
right.
and that's
Okay.
where I knew him from. It's like, oh shit! So this dude gonna do something interesting. And his original plan, I think, was to make like a big spoken wordy album off of the whole thing, not a play, but it ended up blowing up much bigger than expected, and he made a whole thing out of it. But
Right.
as he built up, and then we had to talk about. I don't want to get into too much politics, but since the focus of the show is politics, talk about Lin-Manuel Miranda himself. A lot of people in Puerto Rico do seem to like him for some reason, but I ain't a Puerto Rican, so I don't know the exact reasons.
Oh,
By
okay.
judges,
Well, note to self, like with us seeing this thing for the first time, I know that there's a lot of not so much behind the scenes, but just stuff about the show, like prior to it
yeah,
in the making and afterwards. I need to look up. So I'll make a note to actually like look up. Oh
right.
well, I mean the impact of this show, the controversy behind
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show, or
It's
whatever.
it's one of, it's one of those sanitized history things. Like again, like any history class stuff, you don't really know the full history, but it doesn't like it shies away. It does some real stuff, but it puts stuff that is kind of poor context. And a lot of actual historians will fight it on and tell you, hey, this is not accurate, blah blah blah. I don't really care about that
It's
stuff like
kind
that.
of what that reminds me of. Sorry to cut you there. Kind of reminds me of it's a film that I don't particularly fancy, but I know it's appeal because of the play it's based on. Jesus Christ Superstar.
Right, right,
Yeah, like it's not the worst show ever, but that's the idea that oh well, Jesus was just this free loving hippie guy who just
right.
promoted good
Exactly.
vibes, man, and then the show just kind of ends with his crucifixion, like the end of musical exit scene. I don't know, just
Right,
something about that just kind of pissed me off about the show, but yeah, you know what I
right.
mean. Like I imagine even back then, people were like, well, Jesus wasn't like this and blah 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 and all that
Right.
kind of stuff. Man.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so this was I had to fire up the old VPN just to get to Disney Plus.
Uh huh.
Uh, I haven't used Disney Plus since Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's basically what happened. Right. So this is I forget which the actual date by those films. This was the film back in 2016.
Yes, it
Uh,
was a 2016 performance in somewhere in New York, if I'm not
right.
mistaken. Yeah,
Cool. And yeah, so there's just this, and it basically focuses on Alexander Hamilton. He's somebody who's born. Well, he was born in St. Croix, I think.
yeah.
Immigrant. He mom died when he was 12. He had a whole drama, and he got I forget who gave him the money so he could leave to go to the United States.
and that's how they started. And they make they tell all these stories. They establish it from the perspective of Aaron Burr, played by Leslie Odom Jr. He's pretty damn good in this.
Oh, he
And
is. He is.
yeah, and then they just go through the narrative of Alexander Hamilton and his life, and how influential he was in the formation of the United States. Independence from the British, War of 1812. State. I think he was he created. He was the basically he formed the bank. That was the idea.
Yeah.
And the history of all of that, and he have your own little scandals, and he could have rise to power, but didn't, and he was blah blah blah, blah and they have a whole thing. That's pretty much it. It just goes through the narrative of Hamilton, who he could get married to. The whole thing with his son, which was pretty good. And yeah, it's just a 3 hour run. And I sat through pretty much the entire thing. I didn't expect to.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
what the beauty of it though, with it being on a streaming platform, is that you could kind of pause the show like after a song or performance when you hear the audience clap. Because I was doing like when I had to take like little bathroom breaks, I would wait until I hear the audience clap, and the lights go down for a bit, and then I would just go get something and come back now. So you don't have to really sit down for its 2 hour and 40-minute runtime.
I only did the only time I sat down, the only time I actually paused it for a little while was for the actual
the intermission. Yeah. Oh, by the way, points for how they pull that off. It's a 1-minute intermission, but essentially you just see the word intermission as you would expect from musicals or epic movies of this nature, and you'll see like image of an hourglass basically, and this timer going down from 60 seconds now. Like, okay, this is really smart though. I dug that. Yeah.
The intermission would have been 30 minutes or however long, right? Whatever.
Yeah, like they're not going for like David Lean, Lawrence of Arabia, where you have like this whole 4 or 5 minute intermission and then the show starts back. Remember, we working with time now. We working with time. You know?
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So it have all these like insanely. Well, that's why it works. Is all these amazing catchy songs.
Yes.
I remember listening to the album, and I remember some of the songs off the top of just remembering a couple of them. But I don't remember like all the songs as it was, especially in the context of how they tell the story and these as it was. And I ain't gonna lie, almost all of these slaps. All of them slapped in my opinion.
I totally agree with you, boy. They were so not just catchy but so well delivered, boy. And I was just in awe of just how everybody just came in and it's what reason being because it's mostly sung. There's barely any like dialogue between actors, right? But because it's just mostly singing in this, I was just blown away by how they were just able to just do these the lyrics and the cadences and all that kind of stuff. I also dug how it was it's deep rooted in hip hop actually, not just modern triplet flows like what you get with modern rap, but also with old school rap as well too. You would hear like a line like "If you don't know, now you know." You know what I mean? You will hear greats basically. I was like, this is just such great songwriting, and of course, just great singing throughout the entirety of this movie here.
And what impressed me as well is just the general stage blocking and stage design and stage production. There's that, especially that last scene in the whole counter 10 countdown song. That's the final kind of song.
MG, yes. Especially like how they drew the moment out. That's what we'll see without spoiling it. That and was they made that,
And I want to see what it like. Listen, we'll talk about this a little later, but like, just make sure we don't get Tom Hooper's pause on this, right?
I was gonna bring him up. But go on.
Yeah, right. But if they're doing a live action, a movie, I could hopefully we'll see something impressive from this. I hope they get the director. The joke I make with my friend was they should do Zack Snyder should do the movie, right? Because all the slow mo speed up stuff they do, and rewind and stuff and them kind of thing. Like, all right. So yeah, I was very impressed with this. Really loved it. Saw a lot of actors who played a lot of great double roles. My boy Davy Diggs played. He played
Lafayette. Sorry, and
Lafayette.
Thomas Jefferson.
He played right.
I will not lie. When he came out as Thomas Jefferson, I was like, "Well, what?" And even the audience, his what's the name of his song, boy?
What did
It's
I miss?
what did I miss?
Yeah,
Audience
yeah,
erupted when he showed up though, and
yeah.
yeah,
It was
that's one
hard.
of the best songs on this in this film.
Yeah,
Period. Yeah.
yeah. And then,
But as you mentioned, sorry, go on. Go on.
yeah. And then there's the people who just shine for me. Just Chris Jackson or George Washington. I thought he was pretty good. Um, uh, Renee Goldsberry as Angela Schuyler. I thought she was good. Because she's
Oh
like an old
yes.
soap opera person, but she really shined. I thought.
Okay,
Um,
I've actually never seen her in anything though, but yeah, as far
yeah, she
as
was
singing and just stage presence though,
right.
phenomenal. Loved her.
Dude, the dude who played King George, I think is Gruff something. Or,
Oh,
I think
here's the funny thing about that guy, right? King George the third. He's the star of Mindhunter. I was
right. Yeah,
the
I'm saying,
face was
I
like,
know. I watched the face now.
what is he? You with this too?
Yeah, I watched the face. I was like, yeah, he from somewhere. And I was like, right, yeah, it's that dude.
Yeah,
And yeah, they just had all these great little thing. All these the ensemble people was pretty good. Side people was pretty good. The guy who played the son was pretty good. I thought.
yeah. That guy
Of course,
is Anthony Ramos actually, Ramos. He was in She's Gonna Have It. It's like,
right,
you with
right.
this too?
Yeah. And then of course, the person who was most impressive for the show, well, of course, Lin-Manuel himself was pretty good, but my boy Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr, he was pretty damn good in this.
He was.
He
Boy, I
well,
was blown away
holy,
by his performance. So yeah,
yeah, he was real hard.
the
So
man
yeah,
could
it's
sing
just
and rap though. He was and
yeah,
dance and just
yeah,
do these elaborate choreograph
and he get
dances and choreography.
yeah, he get just his big song, he gets his own song for himself. That was pretty good. All of these like really impressive, you know,
Mm.
big bits and big shot, and there's like everybody get their own song, and it was real hard. Again, I'm not a big um thing, me no big theater man
Theater
myself,
theater nerd.
but yeah, exactly. But I really appreciated this as it was. I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did, and yeah, so I can't say the score, but the score gonna be pretty damn high. But yeah,
Yeah,
go through.
well, it's gonna be very high for me too. It's gonna be very high for me too, right? But as I said, like we aren't theater nerds and stuff like that, so we can't say, oh well, this song could have been better delivered this way, or lighting was blah
Right.
blah blah, right? We saw it the way I was presented as a stage performance, right? And as a stage performance, it was near flawless in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just dug everything about the production itself, from
Yeah.
from the stage itself, the set design, I should say, from the elaborate lighting that they will use, how they will just use props, how they just move it back and forth. Even they have this like little circular thing that they have in the middle of the stage
Right. Yeah.
that a
Stage
dog,
move.
and that's
Yeah.
how actors move and dance and sing in them.
And because what was impressive about that too is where again much like how any live performance that you have to have good editing and good directing for is where the camera is going to be and how you're going to cut this together, because that itself needs work. Much like how a good stand-up performance might be, stand-up comedy
Yeah,
performance needs good editing and good cuts and wherever it is, and they did that. They made
yeah.
some really cuts, especially coming down to the end where they had some. I think it had a rack focus at one point. And thing like what?
Yeah,
You
I
had
think
this,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Um,
I
and as you bring up that, then one thing I just need to remember, want to bring this up, right? As you mentioned, where the camera is. Folks, like down here in Trinidad, right? We yes, guys, we talking to you all here. You see that whole two camera thing that always do when always be filming like theater productions and stuff and
yeah,
showing it on TV? No,
yeah. Nah,
that's not how you do it.
yeah,
Give us
that's
5,
course.
8 cameras like what you see here, where the
Yeah.
camera is at a specific point and it just keeps cutting back and forth at the right
Right.
moment. That is what we need, Jen. And
I,
that's
I,
what
man,
adds the whole theatrical, well,
no,
film vibe of these things.
I don't have a problem with two cameras. That is not the biggest. I mean, I am a kind of guy who will think at least 4 cameras they should do. But the problem with the 2 camera thing is that they just have it just standing still in one location.
All right.
It's the saddest shit ever. So it's like, oh, see, I don't have that camera bouncing around and like get at least 3 people. You think your rack focus on stage, make it look, move it about that kind of thing. Now, and it's just 2 cameras, one in the center, one kind of close, and then they cut it in somewhere lazy way. It's like, no, that's some high school bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah. You're right, though. But yeah, with this show here, I mean, props to the camera work here, Chuck. You could tell
Yeah,
they just knew where to put each camera. They knew where to move it, where to have it positioned, how to cut it at
yeah,
just the right time. And then, well, just to talk about the production itself, well, the actors themselves, just blocking, just knowing where
yeah.
to be
Fantastic.
at what
Everybody, boy.
given time, knowing
Yeah, boy.
where to position themselves, how to move in, even when a person is taking up the scene or in front of the stage, knowing where to back out, where to come in. Like everything is so well timed, dude. And I'm just like
Yeah,
blown away by all this now. Like, but
yeah.
once again, like I say, we're not theater nerds. It's like, well, yeah, we've seen this before. You know, I mean, if you watch a
Right.
play and it was like this,
I
I just
know.
watch
I
this
know.
as a film.
Right. So they just I don't know if this is more political or just theater nerds sniping at each other, but for what I understand, the great Toni Morrison hates it. Yeah, she apparently hates the show. And,
Really?
yeah,
I wonder why.
right. And then but she has her own play that I want to see now because so everybody said how she play was fired. And it's like
Okay,
kind of a play.
what's the name? What's the name of her play?
Oh shit, what's the name of it? Boy, I can't remember. But it's I forget the actual thing. What the play is. But her play is in kind of in response to Hamilton, right? In terms of popularity. Because Hamilton is a big popular thing, right? Is what
Mm,
I'm making all the money, nobody can get tickets, blah blah blah. But it's always have a side play that's just me for the real theater nerds, that bullshit, right?
mm.
And back when you know before she passed, right? She had her own thing that came out and that it was real fire that they got. For others they got pop that up now. So that's so look out for that. Hopefully we'll see that.
Right. Yeah, I was just amazed at just how like fine-tuned everything was though. And yes, I mean you can make the argument, okay, it's a stage play, they've done this, hundreds of times, rehearsals, choreography, all that stuff though. But the scene it play out though was just like awe-inspiring. And I'm like, yeah, like we need to see more films like this though. Like I would say if you unless you genuinely don't care about stage plays or musicals at all, you just won't care for this. Because I know there are people out there that will just look at musicals and be like, nope, I don't care. I don't understand why characters break out into songs. That's just them, right? But if you appreciate those, right? I'm talking about from like the oldies up to now. And if you just understand the nature of, stuff like plays and stuff like that, then yeah, you will appreciate everything about this. The reason why I bring this up too is because, well, of the storytelling, right? It's very much in the vein of what it is, a Broadway play. Like they would pretty much sing everything. They would sing exposition. They would just kind of run through moments just to lead to a particular point, and that's the point of the song. But
Yeah.
because of just how not so much fast speed, but just how much songs are in this though, and it just kind of breezes them through, one at a time though. I imagine for some people they might kind of get lost with the story with it. Like, even if like in my case you don't know everything about the entire history with Alexander Hamilton himself, which is fine. But for me though, it was just seeing the story come alive though. It's like it's magic literally. You're seeing
Yeah.
magic on screen. Just these guys taking what they have, just the little platform that they have basically, and just telling this grand story though. And
Yeah.
props to
I no my generation accustomed to this. I don't know if you remember a little show called Hysteria.
yes. I
Right.
grew up on it too.
Yeah. So it's just that's how to sing it to me and I good, right? I learned the history. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
much that.
Right,
It's that
right.
same, just do it. I can't remember if somebody again, theater people or whoever this could tell me, was he like the best examples of historical musical stuff in the same vein as Hamilton? Because what make Hamilton special is its majority black and people of color class
Yes.
and then the hip hop infused material. But like I would like to see which like real good play did a lot of
Like
history stuff.
was full history, full historical.
Exactly. Like it just straight up based on a historical figure and try to be as well not accurate, but as you're telling the story, right? You're not really embellishing anything or anything like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I can't think of anything but Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I don't know, right?
I don't know, perhaps. Yeah, but
Yeah.
just a couple things before I get to it, right? So, like for me, because I don't know the full story and all that kind of stuff, this was enough
Right.
for me to be like, all right, this story is cool enough that I actually want to read up the actual history, and not to say, oh well, this is what Hamilton got wrong, and this is how they embellished
Yeah.
this. No. It's a loose telling of the story. It's done in this musical fashion. It's very audacious. and appropriately so, because I mean it's a stage musical. I mean, come on, like you expected this thing to be this really heavy-handed, serious thing. No, it's very fun, very emotionally driven. There's some really heartbreaking moments,
Yeah.
directions where I didn't think the story was going, and yeah, I thought that it just ended powerfully in my opinion. This is coming from somebody, slight spoiler, who do like sad endings in musicals. I thought that this one was appropriate. I thought that it fitted. As far
Yeah.
as the music goes, I love how they incorporated hip hop, and it wasn't this kind of hey, we could be hip too. You know what I mean? It was just this very very clever way to just seeing all
Yeah.
these characters, these performers just rapping it
It's
up
still,
their lungs
yeah,
though. You know
it's
what I mean?
still, yeah, it's still, again, it's still for the masses, and I'll say quote unquote white liberals, right? It's for them,
Right.
but at the same time, it feels modern. It doesn't feel like as always, every time I think of hip hop in a show, as I always think oh shit, uh
Not
Robin
Chappelle
Hood Men
show.
in Tights. No, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Hey,
Oh god.
hey, da, right? That bullshit, right?
Hmm.
But that was done for laughs, like. But I was always thinking like that lazy bullshit that our producers do. But it look, it's 2020. Like we living in the post-Obama era. If you're gonna do hip hop stuff, you had to at least be somewhat clever and good with it, or you had to be at least we live in a post epic rap battles of history,
Yes.
world, right?
Yeah.
So on the one end, it's kind of corny bullshit for the masses, but on the other end, like hip hop truly mainstream now. Like you
Yeah.
can't really deny its power and influence at this point.
That reminds me though. Were there any epic rap battles in history dedicated to Hamilton? I don't think
They
they
had
were, but
they had one with Thomas Jefferson versus oh gosh, this fella, famous black writer, shit oh god, and JB Smooth play him. Oh gosh, it's slipping my mind right now. But that was real hard. One of the best,
mm,
like far the best episodes, because they change the style and the tone and the approach and the real switch it up and thing like if you
yeah,
give those guys those epic rap battle guys some money, they could give some hot to like they're
yeah,
real
yeah,
talented,
yeah,
right? But anyway,
right.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
but back to these songs. But just a couple things. Yeah, so back to these songs too. Like yeah, like I said, in terms of how they incorporate hip hop, it wasn't in this kind of you know how to describe it, boy. It's not like
that's my
a
view,
Bill Nye the Science Guy kind of way, and that's not
right?
a diss to Bill Nye, but you know what I mean, like where you take a popular song like Crisscross Jump and you use it to talk about rain. Yes, folks, look it up on
Yeah,
YouTube. Right, there's a
yeah,
Chris.
that
They take Crisscross Jump and talk about rain. So it's
yeah, the early 90s
crisscross
was
and
our
make it
start.
rain, rain, right. So it's
Yeah,
not like that. It's taking popular, well, just I would say really acclaimed hip hop songs and just taking bits and elements of it whilst and incorporating into these songs. Case in
right.
point, 10 Dual Commandments, right? Which takes, of
Yeah,
course, the intro to Biggie's 10
exactly,
Crack
man.
Commandments, but it's
Yeah,
not a remake of that. But they do the whole
right.
number one, number two, number three thing. But it's all
Yeah,
done in this very clever, well, I would say world building way because I mean, it just tells the story as it goes along, right? I
yeah,
dug that. So yeah, the songwriting in this was just perfect in my opinion. The performers, David Diggs, holy
yeah,
shit. No, I
yeah. He was good.
no, like okay, he was great as a rapper, right? He was great as an actor, but as a showman, as a
Yeah,
performer in a Broadway stage play, shit, I'm like, dude,
yeah,
like what can he not do? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
he's like a Donald Glover right now, right now,
Yeah,
Jed,
yeah,
as
I can
far as
agree. I have
just
no problem putting him that I could totally see him being like that because right now he's in Snowpiercer and he decent in that and like
yeah.
the man have he kind of covering it all though.
What could defeat like is there anything the man can't do, Dre? That's what I don't
Yeah, man.
understand. Yeah, Jonathan Groff was hilarious as King George, the two dude.
Yes.
And something always like I don't know if you saw it too. There's always like some little spit out
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
like on
Come
his
on.
lip every time. I was always wondering if that was intentional now. Because he always
Right.
like go like he always like delivers lines direct like that now. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that spit was intentional, right? Um Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr.
Yes.
Round of
Very
applause though. Like
didn't
from
expect it to be. He
stage
stood up. He
presence
big
to
stood up for me.
yeah, from stage presence to singing to rapping to
Yes.
character
Yeah.
though. And you
Yeah.
do buy into the fact why he would be, you know, evenly matched now with the character of Alexander Hamilton. Because they
Right.
basically kind of, well, in the story, kind of grew up together, and
Right.
where they took their friendship, though, yeah, caught me off guard, though.
Yeah.
I'll get to Mr. Hamilton in a bit, right? Philippa Sue, who plays Eliza, I thought that she was great.
Right.
Not only did she look great, but she could sing her heart out. Same thing I could say for Renee Goldsberry, who played Angelica. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jasmine Cephas Jones, who plays their sister Peggy. At first, I
She
was like,
plays two
okay,
roles.
well, she was there
Plays
for a
right.
bit, and then she just left. I was like, wait, what going on? And then she came
And
back
right. Okay.
as
She's
Marie
not there.
Reynolds. I was like, oh, okay,
Yes.
that's what we had.
Second role.
Speaking about Jasmine, I'm not sure if they married as yet, but her real life boyfriend, Auntie Ramos, sorry, he was great though. He played John Lawrence, Philip
Right.
Hamilton, and this was the first time I ever heard this dude sing. Check, I saw him on She's Gotta Have It. He was in that Godzilla movie too. And I thought he was just an actor,
Okay.
in this smart Dubai. I didn't know the man could sing. Like the man have it too. The man really have it. But of course the rest of the cast, dude, Christopher Jackson, do as George Washington.
Yes. I thought she did for me as well. Like real good.
He have the look down, the presence
Yeah.
down. There's a song that he does. Forgot the name of it though, but it's basically where he kind of steps down as president.
Yeah, that was
That-
right. Yeah.
That was such a powerful moment. Though. I love that song though, and even when the audience was cheering and they just zeroing on his face though, I have a feeling that man was crying, Like I feel like he was just holding back tears, way. First, he just put so much into that performance, right? But last but not least, way, I just really had to talk about the man of the hour, though. Lin-Manuel Miranda, though. Just the ringleader of this whole shebang, though. And dude, this man, wow. I even great a much more respect for him now, thanks to this
Yeah.
show here. From singing to rapping to just showmanship and dancing, but that's overall
Yeah.
as a character though, just being able to show this character in different moods. You know what I mean? He's the loudmouth. There's this thing about talk less, smile more. Him being
Yeah.
unsure, him kind of standing up to George Washington, him declaring his love to Eliza, and then there's this thing with Angelica. You know what I mean?
That's great. The great thing with him is, don't call me son.
Yes. That call me son
Yeah,
one
that
more
was
time.
hard.
That was powerful.
Yeah.
Dude.
Then
Just-
Aaron Burr. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
I like
Hamilton. I love that. Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
it's just this emotional roller coaster this man goes through as a character, dude. And then when it ends, dude, it's like, yeah, boy, you've been on a journey with this man, dude. You've been on a journey with this. So, I mean, this is literally the first stage musical we've ever covered on this show here. But yeah, I can't give this show any more praise though. I was gonna give it'd be easy for me to give this a 5 out of 5 though, but I have a feel with more viewings I would put it up there. And it is the first time it's my first time watching this, right? So maybe with more viewers I could be like, oh well, maybe they could do this a little bit better, blah blah blah, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But for what I've seen here, for the experience that I got over, 2 hours and 40 minutes, even right down to that root song, which was basically their remake of My Shot, which is still my favorite song in this whole thing. Yeah, strong 4.5 out of 5, man. This is one of the best movies of 2020, one of the best musicals I've seen, like, ever. I'll put this up there as far as Beyonce Homecoming, as one of those musical experience movies that you just have to see, experience for yourself, and you'll come out of it like, yeah, I get my money's worth. Like, sure, I wasn't there to see it live, but my God, just experienced it from the comfort of my home was great though. I don't know how this would have played out in theaters though. Cause I think the last time I saw something like this, kind of similar, remember after MJ's death, we had Michael Jackson. This Is It, and it was just mainly this, rehearsal for the actual show that he was going to do. Like that was me seeing that theatrically. That was a moment for me. Not the best music documentary ever, but I love that show, right? And I'll say this for the big too. The joke I was making while I was watching this is that this is what Tom Hooper should have done with Les Mis. Like, instead of making this as as a film itself, it should have just been a stage play. And I mean, if you want to bring in actors, if you want to bring in Russell Crowe or Anne Hathaway, whatever, but the way how they just tell the story in film fashion whilst keeping the whole theatrical vibe of it. Yeah, I
Right.
want to see more of that, man. So not more I could say. I was blown away by this. This is an absolute must see. Last word to
Yeah.
rating on Hamilton.
For me, I'm a big theater casual, but I enjoyed pretty much every minute of this. I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did. Again, we had to get into all kind of big back and forth. A bunch of behind the scenes people on Twitter tell me why I should hate it and why this and why Lin-Manuel Miranda is not for the people of Puerto Rico, all the normal shit. But I was just enthralled by the entire thing. I just was so impressed by the whole show. I had just so much fun. Every track, almost virtually every track was hard. Like I didn't think of any track that I didn't like or was too slow. The only track that was too slow for me, but which was a track that was appropriated being slow, which was the big funeral medley stuff. That whole stuff with the song, which was like, yeah, that was appropriate. That was about it, and it fit the scene. And then, but I mean, it just had your head bumping every time. Just watching, I was just paying attention. Yeah, again, how it is. Keep this house cat. That my level of ADHD, right? This how to keep my attention the entire time, and yeah, it nailed it. It did it for roughly 2.5 hours. Like I kept me on time. So very rare case, getting the 10 out of 10. This is probably gonna get the best of the year. Sorry, 10 out next. So I can't really find any major fault with this. As I say, again, theater casual. Some theater don't tell me why I shouldn't like this, right? But I really love this. I really, really, really loved it.
Yeah. So just a couple things before we wrap up, right? So I'm not sure if people are gonna look at the release of this film as some sort of like, some sort of like if they think there's some kind of ulterior motive behind the release of this, it coming out the day before Independence Day. So I don't know if there's some kind of political undertone going on here, but I will leave that to y'all Americans and liberals and whatever to figure it out, right?
No, but, imagine that was like an intention from a while. Like I don't know if it would have been on Disney Plus necessarily. Like it could have easily gone into theaters easily.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like whatever. Right. It's like it's just July 4th. Yeah, you put it out, hype out to everybody.
Yeah, and well, last thing I'll say, like I said earlier, unless you genuinely hate musicals, you genuinely don't care for stage, musicals or whatnot, or stage plays or anything on a stage, then yeah, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much though, but I still recommend though you give it a chance, give it a try. It will entertain you. It will keep you glued to your seat. You will be, and I mean, it will keep your toes tapping. And in my case, head nodding. I'll be cheering. I was clapping numerous periodically. With these performances and whatnot. It will entertain you, Dread, and that's really what it's supposed to do. So if you want to be entertained by something that you haven't really seen before, yes, definitely check out Hamilton.
Yeah.